experiences, Napa Valley wine tasting, spoiling my women friends, sitting at the table with millionaires. The narrative is tax loops, accounts offshore squares. It's not allowed.
Welcome to Coin Gang. We're back at it, man. We're back at it. What's good to y'all out there, man? As always, man, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're rocking with me. You're rocking with your boy, and I appreciate it. You know this thing can't go nowhere without y'all showing up, without y'all eyeballs. So we're going to do it like we always do. You know this is the number one place where you come get your mind right. You know this is the place where you come and you leave better than where you came. If you know what I do already, you should already come through the door with it, put it on the dresser, already come through, start liking and sharing the page. You already know what we do. We don't gossip over here. We improve. We don't bicker. We don't complain. We improve. So if you just are ready, if you ready to improve with me, press 1. If you're ready to get your game together, press 1. Right? If you are ready to leave better than what you came, press 1, man. And give yourself some props because there's so many channels, there's so much things you could be doing right now. So if you over here, that means something. You know what I mean? That means something. I'm glad you're here. It's always an honor that we could fellowship. It's always an honor that we could come build with each other and break bread with each other. It's an honor and it's a pleasure anytime that I come and spend time with y'all. You know what I mean? So I want you to know that this thing doesn't go down without y'all. We only got a couple months left in the year, y'all. We only got a couple months left. And I don't know what your year looked like. I know, of course, the day-to-day grind, probably slipped, fell, bumped your head. I know all that. But we only got a couple months left out of the year. And what I want you to do is I want you to go hard for the rest of the year like you never went hard before. I don't care if you got off your diet plan. I don't care if you haven't been to the gym. I don't care if you wasn't able to save the amount of money that you planned on saving. Start today. Because come January 1st, I don't want us over here at Coin Gang to be making any New Year's resolutions. You understand? So go back to your vision board. Go back to your vision board. All right. Look at it, audit it, see where you at, and start wherever you left off. No shame, no judgment, no shame. This is your life. Copy? All right. Make sure you like and share the video today, man. Listen, the conversation for today is, what if your dreams aren't big enough? What if your dreams aren't big enough? And I just put this hemp oil on my face. I am shiny, and that's how I feel. I feel shiny. So, I'm glowing. I got my baby oil on, right? You know what I mean? But the conversation for today is, what if your dreams aren't big enough? What if your plans and your goals and what you think is top shelf, what if it's not big enough? What if it's this big? And that's what I want to talk about today. But before I get into that, I want to go over this Coin Gang Constitution to make sure everybody in the chat and everybody here is living that life. And you don't need me to be around to live the Coin Gang Constitution. Do y'all know what the Coin Gang Constitution is? Do you know what we live by here? Do you? These are non-negotiable rules here. Heaven on earth, meaning heaven now. That means you don't want to die to get your reward. That means you want it right now. And you're willing and eager to put in the work. You want heaven now. Then you have necessary narcissism. And narcissism is a dirty word, you know. It's a real dirty word. But what it means over here is you have an inflated sense of importance. And you know that's real important, y'all. In a world that doesn't have any words of affirmation for you, especially the environments that we come from. So a little bit of narcissism is important and it's necessary. Do without wilt, but do no harm. That means you can do anything you want. Fulfill your desires. But along the way, don't do any harm. Value for value. That means even exchange. Fair exchange, no robbery, you know? Be selfish now so you can be selfless later. And I know that's important to a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all need to adapt that because for your entire life, you've been taught to give and give and give, and there have been no ROI. And what I'm telling you is wet your beak first before you look out for everybody else. And when your cup runneth over, I give you permission to give freely and abundantly, but only when your cup runneth over. Top shelf or nothing. That means you have an expectation. You have an expectation. When you travel, it's top shelf or nothing. When you ride, it's top shelf or nothing. It doesn't mean that you got to rock Gucci or Louis. It doesn't mean that whatever you're doing, you're getting the best of it though. Top shelf or nothing. Root chakra activation. That means your basic necessities are popping. They teach you to disregard your lower nature. And I'm telling you to activate that lower nature, because without that lower nature being activated, you're never gonna really feel what it's like to eat the fruits and feel the fruits of America. So you need to activate that root chakra. And last but not least, 9 on the dope. That means you put out the best shit. 9 on the dope. Today we are talking about imagination. We're going to talk about language. I'm gonna play a video talking about hacking your gene. That's super important. You want to stick around for that. I want to talk about dream killers. Dream killers. And I want to talk about mystery or the history. You're going to have to decide. You're going to have to decide if you're into the mystery or you're into the history, right? It's a lot of that. You know, Black Wall Street. See that? Black Wall Street is the history. It's already fixed. You can't change it. It's over 100 years ago. You can't change it. That's the history, but it's not the mystery. And I want to talk to you about that. Today's conversation is, what if your dreams aren't big enough? And we'll keep the profanity to a minimum so you can watch it with the kiddies, because this conversation is for everybody. And it doesn't matter what age you are, because you can start now. I want to let y'all know that everything we love and we hate, everything we love and hate about the world comes out of our mind. The highs, the lows, the pain, the destruction, the beauty, the envy, the jealousy. Every single thing you can think of comes out the mind of man. Everything. Let me show y'all something. Now remember the topic today. The topic is, what if your dreams aren't big enough? All right? I want to show you something. I like that sound. Keep that shit rocking. Keep that coming. Because when I hear that sound, it just gets me more into the spirit. So if you want me more into the spirit, do that sound right there. Coin gang. Look at this, y'all. This is the Great Wall of China, right? It took them 200 years, I believe, to finish this. It's between 5,000 miles and some Chinese reports say it's 13,000 miles. This stretches far as hell. This came out the mind of man. This is dreaming big. Now look at your vision board, right? Your goals or your bucket list. How far off is it from something like this? Doing something incredible that outlives you. Look at this. This is the Great Wall of China. This is going to be here when I'm gone. This was here before me. Except if a global cataclysm happens, this is going to outlive your babies. It stands the test of time. But it first started in the mind of a human. Search something else. The pyramids at Chichen Itza, built by the Mayans. right? This is all about astrology, this particular pyramid right here. I believe it has 365 steps going up, if I'm not mistaken, to match the days of the year. I mean, it's an incredible structure. But again, look at your vision board, audit it. Look at your vision board, and does the things on your vision board, does it align with stuff like this? Was getting married on your vision board? Finding a mate, And I don't want to ever minimize anybody's dream. But I wouldn't be me if I'm not going to be honest with you and tell you that's a very small dream to find a man or find a woman. That is a small dream. First of all, what kind of man? What kind of woman? How tall are they? Where are they from? What do they do? Do they speak multiple languages? See, to just say I want to get married, well, that's a small dream. Where? Do you want to get married on the moon? Do you want to get married scuba diving? Be specific. Let's chunk down on that and open this shit up. I mean, we are dealing with the same instrument that these other human beings had to create amazing structures like this, and that's the human mind. We have that same capability, and the only thing that you can think of is you want to be pregnant. Huh. The only thing you could think of, my G, is putting on for the bros. That's a small dream. But I understand you were taught to do that. And we're going to get to the bottom of that, because by the end of this, we're going to try to get your dreams back. We're going to go try to find your dreams. We're going to try to find your imagination. Because if the furthest extent your imagination goes is to get married, well, you have lost yourself, man. Because I guarantee, as a young boy and a young girl, your mind didn't stop at things like that. I mean, being in a relationship, that's just a byproduct of the dream. It's not the dream. It's just something that happens along the way. It's not the dream. It's something that happens as you're pursuing it. But what I'm showing you is something that attracts tourists. It's something that people marvel at. It's something that people take their entire life savings to go visit and document. Then they take what they find and they go debate people. They take pictures and selfies next to it. This came out the mind of a human, not an alien, a human. The same mind that you have. And the only thing you can do with your mind is think about getting married or being in a relationship, not making something, not creating something that's going to outlive you. Let me tell you something in case you don't know. When you die, your marriage dies with you. When you die, your relationship dies with you. See, that's not a big dream. That's easy. It's a byproduct of the dream. It's something that happens when you're in your purpose, or you are so obsessed with completing something. You just happen to meet somebody along the way that can walk the path with you. But it is not the ceiling though, fam. Come on, man. This is in Jordan right here. This is carved inside of a mountain, man. This is carved inside of a mountain. This is very old stuff that I'm showing you, and the things that I'm showing you, the people are long gone, family. They're not here no more, but their work is still here for you to admire, for you to be inspired, for you to be in awe of. So I ask you, when you look at your vision board, matter of fact, think about this. You are stressed and have anxiety over dreams that are small. The thing that you are stressed about over is a small dream in the first place. So that should show you your place on this crazy rock we call Earth, that what you are stressed about, what you are tripping over, what you have anxiety over is a small dream from the jump. I'm going to tell you how small it is because I'm going to show you what other humans did with their time on Earth. You got the same time. You got the same 24, same eyes, same ears. And guess what, y'all? They had flaws too. Not every one of them was attractive. Not every one of them was tall. Huh? Not every one of them came from an inheritance. Huh? You got the same 24. You got the same 365. You got the same hands. So don't blame it on your limitation because human beings, since time immemorial, everybody has a limitation, but you transcend it and you create something big and you make the dream bigger. So does your dreams and your vision boards match the things that I'm showing you? Or is it miniature? And if it's miniature, it's all good. It's cool. Stretch it out though. Make it bigger though. This is in Machu Picchu. This is on top of a mountain. This is in the Andes, I believe. This is old stuff, man. Look what these people left behind. Some of this is based on astrology. Some of this is religious rites, human sacrifices. I mean, you named it. I don't care what they were doing it for. I just care that they were doing it. Maybe the reason why they were able to dream this big is because the calling. Maybe what they were called to do. Maybe it's that. Maybe your dreams are small because you left the church. Maybe it's that. Maybe you don't feel anything no more. Well, if your dream gets bigger when you're in church, then I would suggest you go back to church. I don't care if it's true or not. I care if you creating something big. These people have belief too. They had dogma too. Who said what they knew was the truth? It doesn't matter if it's true or not. Does it make you move? That's all I care about. Does it inspire? Does it get people from humble beginnings off their ass to want to go do something bigger than them? It doesn't matter if it's true or not. It doesn't matter if it's the way. It doesn't matter if it doesn't inspire. It has to trigger something inside of you to want to get up and want to work. What I'm showing you are the new wonders of the world. Come on, man. The Christ Redeemer joint in Brazil. Again, I don't care about what your personal feelings are to the symbol. Look at the symbol. Look at the craftsmanship. Human beings put that there. See, I don't need you to get caught up and say, oh, colonial. I don't. But hey, listen, look, maybe you need what the colonialists had in them to make them go conquer and made them go circumnavigate the globe and made them go explore and risk their lives. You're just on the wrong side of history. But whatever was in them called them to action to do something bigger than themselves. That's all I care about. Understand, I don't believe this universe knows right and wrong. I don't believe the universe is it looks at the human being from a moral perspective. What the universe understands is fortune favors the bold. And what I'm sharing with you guys and gals is bold action right here. Look at this structure right down below. Those are people. You know how big this is? Think about the construction. Think about the labor. Whoever came up with this concept and this ideal was called. They felt called from something, a voice inside of their head. They can't explain it. Yeah, maybe they were crazy. Maybe they did have mental illness. But what if to dream big is a mental illness? What if to be inspired, you actually have to be mentally ill? Which would make sense because the majority of the people in our country are not inspired. The majority of people are mediocre. Everybody is average. So when you look at the overachievers, whether that's men or women, when you look at the people that are accomplishing great things, there's something that sets them apart from everybody else. Maybe it is some type of mental illness. Maybe because it's something that everybody doesn't have. This thing inside of you that is willing to go forward and willing to push boundaries and willing to explore. Maybe you guys should take out your journal. What was it that you wanted to accomplish this year? Maybe you didn't accomplish it because you don't feel called. Maybe you didn't accomplish it because you don't feel inspired. Maybe it's possible that you have hit the ceiling, the creative ceiling in your life, and you need a harder task. What if you're not motivated because the dream is too small? It's not a challenge. You've already been there before. You've already did something similar to that. That's possible, right? Maybe to get you off your ass, maybe to get you to go past fear and stress and depression. And maybe to get you to go past that, you actually have to set a bar that, based on what kind of family you come from, looks damn near impossible. Maybe it has to look unrealistic. And the more unrealistic your dream looks, the more that you're gonna work hard, the more that you're gonna grind. Y'all need to think about that for a second. Because I know a lot of people in my chat, you don't got to tell me, I already know. I can relate. It's a lot of people in the chat that are lacking energy. You know what I mean? You're lacking motivation. You listen to a new Gary V, you listen to a Bob Proctor, you listen to a Grant Cardone and you get your fix, right? And you wake up in the morning and you say, Carpe diem, this is my day. I'm going to seize the day. It's my time. And then the next day, you back flat on your face, right? Then you listen to TD Jakes, listen to Joel Osteen, or whoever you listen to for motivation, Eric Thomas, whoever. And you get your fix. And then the next day, you back flat on your face. I get it. And I think the reason why it's like that is because of calling. You don't feel called. But when you look at this structure right here, to do this, think about the feat that it was, the architecture, the difficulty in it. You are called by something. And maybe, just maybe, whatever those individuals was called by, maybe you need that. Coliseum. This stuff is old, y'all. Right? The people are long gone. The people that made this are long gone. The engineers are gone. The laborers are gone. The financiers are gone. They're gone, but their work is still here. Now, is there anything on your vision board that can outlive you 500 years? Because I'm telling you now that if the only thing that you can think of is to get in a relationship, your relationship is not going to outlive you. Your relationship might not last the next 2 years, first of all. Look at your vision board. Is the things that you have wrote in there that you want to achieve and you want to accomplish, does it scare you? Does it make you feel insecure? Does it make you feel inferior? If it doesn't, then it's not big enough. Because I believe the dream got to be so big that you're like, how the hell am I going to pull this off? The dream has to be so big that you feel like just a child looking up to a giant. How am I going to pull this off? You don't know what you're going to do. You don't know how you're going to do it. You don't got the money. You don't know the right people. How are you going to make this happen? And if the stuff in your vision board or your journal or wherever you write your life at, whatever you would like to do, if it does not make you feel a little bit scared, you need to crumple up the paper and start fresh, because you've already been here before. You're just gonna keep repeating wins that you've already had already. I know you don't want that. Don't make a financial goal a goal that you already seen that kind of money before. Should I do you one better? You shouldn't be trying to sleep with the same type of people that you've been sleeping with your entire life. Go to the next level. There's another type of D, baby girl. There's another type of bottom, bruh. I'm just keeping it a stack. See, these can't be goals because we already did that before. You already had that kind of dude. You already had that kind of chick. What's the next level? What's the step? That's our constitution, top shelf or nothing. So you definitely don't want to be riding with people you've been riding with. There's more out there. You want to comb this earth till you experienced it all. Why not? Why not? Why are you here? Hmm? Why are you here? Come on, man. Taj Mahal. Look at these structures, man. I think you get the gist. The reason why I was showing you them things is because those things came out people's minds. They're no different than you. And we do a lot of elevation of people's personalities, of human beings. And people are great. And we should give them flowers, but not at our expense. And we idolize people and we make statues of them. And we're like, wow, wow, this person was great. What? But the only difference between them and you is the calling and the fact that they put it all on the line. Watch a video. Y'all with me? Y'all good? Y'all quiet in that chat. I just want you to know, when I hear that Cash App symbol, it does something to my spirit. Makes me really, really start digging in deep. Now, what I'm about to show you, this is what I'm talking about dreaming big. This is what I'm talking about. Now, to my flat earthers, I don't know if this is real. I don't know. But the child in me would like it to be real though. Because I wanna dream shit, man. I wanna dream stuff. I need it to be real. I need this stuff to be real. So I don't know if the earth is flat. I don't know if this was a damn movie theater. I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is when I watched it, it made me feel like a child. It made me remember that anything is possible. So this is dreaming big. Now let's just say this is real. How many people could say this? Because after you get the bag, after you run the score up, I mean, what's it for? It can't just be for shoes. It just can't be for flexing. This is the ultimate flex right here. Why else you getting the bread? This is what I'm talking about. This is what I aspire to do right here. This is how I knew that my dream wasn't big enough.
5, 3, 2, 1. Release. Fire.
Tuh.
Welcome to Witnesses. You're clear to unstrap. Welcome to space.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I seen this, my eyes teared up a bit. Let me tell you why my eyes teared up a bit. Because before I jumped off the porch and did dumb things in the streets outside and just was affected by the culture, I was a kid that was innocent and I had dreams and I seen the world a certain type of way. And I used to look up in the sky and wonder. I used to wonder, were we alone out in the universe? I used to wonder about planets and hollow earth. I had a nice imagination. So when I seen this, I was like, man, I don't know if it's fake. I don't know if this is a hoax. I don't know if this is, flat earth. At this point, I don't care. I need this to be real because it just can't be this right here. It just can't be flexing. It just can't be YouTube gossip. You know what I mean? It just can't be just what we doing, just the back and forth. You know what I mean? I get more money, so then I get more women, and then what? And then it's a never ending cycle. What? Or you get married and you buy a house and the 30-year mortgage. I mean, that's it. This is the ultimate flex right here. And this made me even check myself to say, you know what? My dream ain't big enough. My dream is too small. Because when I seen this guy's dream, when I seen him in his space, I felt like a child. My eyes teared up. And I remember my imagination and I remember what I felt like as a child before the culture took something from me. So I don't know if this is real. I don't know if he really went to space, but damn it, it made me feel like a kid and I'm believing.
To all you kids down there, I was once a child with a dream, looking up to the stars. Now I'm an adult in a spaceship with lots of other wonderful adults looking down to our beautiful, beautiful Earth. To the next generation of dreamers, if we can do this, just imagine what you can do. Wow. Oh my God. Woo! Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, this is unbelievable. This is too unbelievable. Uh, wow. Unbelievable.
Hmm.
And please return to your seats and strap in. Approach and re-entry. Get back up.
What if that was real, y'all? What if that was real? Let's say no conspiracy, right? Let's say that that was this person's dream, right? They did well in business, right? And then it took them to there, right? Let's just say it was real. How would you feel that you dreamt so big that where you landed Less than 1,000 people in the in the world could say that they did. Like, how many people could say they've been to space? What if you dreamt that big and that's where you landed? See, I know a lot of people need that to be fake. They need it to be fake so their dreams can make sense. But question I want to ask you is, when you look at your vision board, what's on it right now? If you accomplish it, where will you land? Will you land right back in the same place as everybody? That means your dream too small. Will you land right back at the local bar? Will you land with the same people in your phone? If you completed every single thing that you aspire to complete, where will you land? Will it put you in space? Will it put you around new people and you got to learn a new language and you got to adjust and adapt? Would it have you moving out the country? I need y'all to think about it, especially the people with melanated skin tone. See, one of the reasons why he was able to do that is because what's on his heart is not on your heart. He has a free space to dream like that. He has a free space to wonder. So even as a 50-year-old, 60-year-old man, I don't know how old he is, he's allowed to be innocent. But when your skin is melanated and you come from where we come from, you're not allowed to be innocent and you're not allowed to dream. Your relationships has to look like everybody else. Your children have to have the attire that they have to be in the Jordans, right? They have to have a Quan in their name, right? They got to be able to dance already, right? They can't think about space and mathematical equations. No, 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 no. Put a basketball and a football and a microphone in their hand, right? See, when you look like you and I, your innocence is snatched immediately. Soon as you jump off the porch, because we have a culture that feeds off that. You can't be innocent, boy or girl. You can't think out the box. You have to give the answers that the textbooks say, right? You can be an individual as far as people can, as long as people can see you, right? When they put you down, they got to be able to find you. You got to be where they left you. See, when you have your innocence, you're able to think about space. You're able to say, you know what? I want to be a billionaire because I want to go to space. You want to do something far-fetched. You want to do something that no man or no woman has ever done. So that's the reason for your grind. That's the reason why you're working so hard and you sweating and you know. But when you come from where we come from, your innocence stops early. That fire truck that you used to play with, it goes in the closet. You know, the dreams of you being a famous actor, a daredevil, or whatever, that goes out the window. You better have that baby by 14, 15. You better earn your stripes. And the thing is, it's a cultural thing that we just consume it. It's like it's predatory. People can smell it on you. Oh, innocence? Yeah, get them. And one of the ways that it happens is from language. So my topic today is, what if your dreams aren't big enough? And I want to go into a few places how your dreams become miniature because of fear. And when you don't come from an environment that has words of affirmation, and we use this language to slave ourselves, we create our devils. We create our oppressors with language. I didn't say life was easy, because it's not. For nobody, for no living thing on the planet is this a cakewalk. However, there are some things that exist only because of our language. And we put ourselves into debt by the way we talk. and we get further away from our innocence and further away from our dreams. Let me give you an example. Let me show you something. If you've been rocking with me for a minute, then you know I've done this before, but let's revisit it again for in 2021, right? Because it hit different every time. So we look at the power of words and language, right? Now we say thoughts are things, but we don't never say what does that actually means. Now, gentlemen, I remember a gentleman. His name was Savar Seven Bomar. He said that words have shapes and colors to them, and I got it immediately, and I was like, damn, words have shapes and colors. Like, and I just picture certain words having a different shape, carrying a different kind of weight, and it hit a certain type of way when we say it, right? And I thought about, well, what does white? I wonder what kind of shape and color does white supremacy have? See, because there's no way you can be a big dreamer and talk like that, because the language doesn't do anything to build you up. You know, we want to use language as a way to cast spells, right? So we want to use language as a way, as an offensive strategy to change our reality. But what happens when the language is turned against you, right? So what we're looking at right now is the word white, all right? And when we look at the word white, remember, the brain can't differentiate what's real and what's not. And when I look up at the definition of white, I must admit I actually want to be this definition. Well, free from spot or blemish, free from moral impurity, innocent, innocent, huh? Innocent, not intended to cause harm, favorable and fortunate. Does anybody want to be favorable and fortunate? Does anybody in my chat want to be favorable and fortunate? I mean, think about that, right? Man, if someone asks you, "Hey, how you doing, bro? How you doing, sis?" And you like, "Oh man, favorable and fortunate." But when we look up the word white, this is what's associated with the word, right? So when you attach this with supremacy, it's creating a paradigm that other people are lucky and you're not. Don't the scriptures say, in the beginning was the word? In the beginning was what? The word. Creator said, oh, and God said, let there be. Boom. So everything is created with words. So if there's a group of people on the planet living a better life than you, it's be your fault because you spoke it into existence at the expense of your dream. See, you didn't even put these words to your dream. You're like, oh, the system, white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy. And every time you do that, you're coding. Just imagine you stitching something, right? And you are stitching a reality inside of this system. Now, Stephen Hawkins, many other scientists will tell you, hey, this is a holographic universe. Hey, this is you're in a simulation. So let's take that as law. Let's say we are in a simulation and we are actually programming our life like a game of Sims, right? Well, what if words is how you create in this game, right? And the language that we use creates a better reality for others and worse for us. Now, I said I would keep the language clean today, so I don't want to say the language that we use towards ourselves. But it's not positive because the dreams are missing. Where's the dreams? See, the thing about the dreams, it needs to be watered. It needs to be activated. There has to be a substance to activate it. And that substance is language. But we don't have the language because we're using the activation for other people's reality. We're making other people's lives fire. Why? Because we're using language that just creates a reality for them that they probably didn't even live. We swear up and down their marriages is fire. You swear up and down that their woman is cooperative and submissive, and the man is just having his way and it's all good. Everybody's eating at the table, leave it to beaver, right? We swear to God that people are living like this, right? And when we think about that and we think other people are living that kind of life, man, we don't have that same energy for ourselves. Now, again, words are important. Now, I don't, and it doesn't matter what you want it to mean. Let's just go into the language. What does this stuff mean? White means what? Free from moral impurity. Basically, that means if you identify as white, you're never wrong. You can't be. You're innocent. That's what the definitions say. You're never intending to cause no harm. So no matter what a person that identifies as white does, it was a mistake, just based off the language, right? And look, it's associated with white magic. Let me make that bigger for y'all so y'all can see. Not intended to cause harm. White magic. White lie. Right? What else? Favorable, fortunate. I want to be favorable. I want to be fortunate. Now, why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up, right? I'm bringing this up because I'm talking about dreams. The reason why you can't dream big is because you don't have nothing left in the tank, because your language has been used to program a reality for other people that their reality is fire, their reality is bigger. The problem is you assigned a wrong meaning to it. Instead of looking at it as just straight up competition, you gave it a language, you coded it. Instead of just saying, all right, it's them against me. Poof, that's it. No, you gave it props. Let me tell you how much props you gave it. Watch this. So you see white, right? So let's attach white with supremacy, right? So what does it mean to be supreme? Because that's the root word, right? So what does it mean to be supreme? Right? So when you attach white with supreme, what do you get? Highest rank in authority, the highest degree in quality, ultimate, final. Y'all see that, right? So remember, white. What did it say about white? It said that incapable of a moral impurity, innocent. It said favorable, right? It said fortunate, right? Y'all read it with me. Now, when you attach white with supreme or supremacy, what you're saying is that they are the highest ranking innocent, the highest degree in quality, ultimate, final. Now, how could you turn around and say white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy, and then go in your space and create something big? How could you? How could you create something bigger than your concept of white supremacy? And that might explain why the culture as a whole, as a collective, the creations that the culture is making is trash. Because you already got a concept already of something big. Remember, we just read the definition. We put white with supremacy. Look at the definition, right? So then how could we, outside of that, go create a big dream? There, it can't, because conceptually, I already assigned the biggest thing that I can think of to whiteness, or what I think whiteness is. But anybody could be it though, right? So follow me. Remember, the brain can differentiate what's real and what's fake, right? Okay. So the brain has already assigned the biggest possible thing to something else. So there's no way you can dream big after that. Because what's going to be bigger than the thing that you already assigned meaning to? Y'all read it with me. So we seen white, and then when you associate white and attach it with supreme, highest rank in authority, highest degree in quality, ultimate, final. All right, damn. Well, what's better than that? What's better than that? And I just wanted to show that right there because, man, what happens to the dream, right? What happens to these dreams we have when we kids and all of a sudden we wake up in adults and we don't got the dream, we don't got the oomph, we don't got the fuel that we need to keep going. Like, what happened? Where did it go? It ain't just the environment took it from me. We talked it away, right? So when you look at the vision board and it's the same stuff every year, why? Because how could you create something bigger than you there's something big already occupying your mind. You think the system is big, so you can't create something bigger, right? So I say empty your cup, right? What do you got to lose, right? If you empty your cup, then you can put something in place that's big and that works for you. If you empty the cup, I know I want to empty my cup. I know I want to start tapping into and get back to when I was a boy and I had these ideals and I had these dreams and I was like, man, I'm unstoppable, right? And I thought nothing could stand in my way, and I was real optimistic, and I had um, an excitement for the day. And then all of a sudden we turned 30, 35, 40, and then look, right? Somebody asks you, what's up with you? Oh, shit. What's up with you? Oh, I ain't on nothing. Like, look at the language. Yo, hey, how you doing? Oh, man, I ain't on nothing. I'm not on anything. Listen. Hey, how are you today? Oh, man, shit, I can't call it. It's so messed up that the only time somebody say something positive to you is when you sneeze. You got to sneeze for somebody to say something positive to you. So I just wanted to show you how it's small and it happens over a course of just years. It's not a one-time thing. Now mix that with personal traumas that you had, traumatizing experiences in your life, whatever. But it starts with the language though, and it just starts, it starts chipping, and then you look up and you like, damn, I can't come up with no ideals. I don't got no juice. I messed up, man, and you don't know how to get back to the beginning. And what I'm gonna tell you is just empty your cup and change the language. Don't use words like that. I don't care what these social justice people or pro-black people or whatever, they don't have no call to action and they don't know what to do with success. They cannot teach you how to get to the other side. They want to tear down a system that they're living in. That's their plan, to tear it down while they're inside of it. That's dumb. So there's not even a plan of let's move to the side and pivot, then tear it down. Like, no, their plan is to burn it down while living inside of it. So they're a frog inside of a boiling pot. That's the plan. And if that's your wave and you would like to go down that path, you know what I'm saying? I salute you. Do you? I definitely am not in the way of anybody's destiny, but I know for me and mine, we're gonna do some other things, and we're gonna continue this message. I hope you guys are great. I hope you are flowing, and I hope you are realizing where you went wrong, and you want to be reintroduced to yourself, and you know what I mean. We're gonna keep it going, y'all. Right after this message, we'll be right back. I decided that I want more. I decided that the life that I was living, the results wasn't enough. I decided that I don't want to be normal. I decided to conquer my fear. I decided to stay focused. I decided to study. I decided to discipline myself. I decided to walk away from mediocrity. And now I'm alone. What if the people that you love the most, what if the environment that you love the most, what if the thing that you are attached to is your dream killer? And you know what's crazy is because we got a lot of language and titles for people, right? Oh, you a hoe. Oh, you a gangster. Oh, you this, you that. They started out as a little kid. Every one of y'all started out as a little kid and used to look out the window. Oh, that's my car. Oh, that's my car. Right? That's my car. Right? And you had dreams and you had this big smile on your face. And it's somebody you told something to, granny or auntie or granddad, daddy, brother, lover, you told something to. And maybe what you said it was the wrong day. You know, they didn't understand it, right? But they took your dream and they said, no, not you. They said, not you. You raised your hand in school and you had a teacher that didn't know what they was looking at. And you said you wanted to do something and they said, yo, not you. Those are dream killers, y'all. We come from a culture that kills dreams. So y'all think that girl is just hoeing because she got touched on. You think that's the only reason? You know what? A lot of people could come back for that. What people can't come back from is negative language. That sticks in the mind. She wanted to be a princess. She wanted, and it's so funny, right? Because we live in this time right now where people build channels, right? And they build channels based on what people want for themselves. Let me tell you something. The Wright brothers had to be a little bit delusional, you know? Andrew Carnegie with Steel had to be a little bit delusional. In 1993 and 94, a black man by the name of Reginald Lewis was worth $1.3 billion. He's one of the richest 400 people in America. To do that in corporate America, he had to be a little bit delusional. So I don't care if a woman weighs 400 pounds and she thinks she can get $1 million man. Who am I to tell her she can't? I'm not going to build a platform off that because I don't want nobody killing my dream because I knew what it was like, how hard it was to find my shit after it got took when I was a kid. Hey, if that's what your sights are and you think you can get it, cool. As long as you can live with the results. If you don't, fine. Can you look yourself in the mirror if your delusion, you crap out and it doesn't work? Are you good? America's all about delusion. To come from the projects to dream to be a millionaire, that's a delusion. You're crazy for thinking like that. Because what does the statistics say, right? To make it to the NBA or NFL or to be the first person to go to college in your family, to be able to read and write, to live a life of sobriety, and you come from people that suffer substance abuse, right? That's delusion, especially where we come from, right? Remember, we got a culture that they if they put you down, you have to be exactly where they left you. We have a culture that kills your dream, yet America's all about delusion. I'm sure it was delusion for a Negro to play in Major League Baseball at that particular time. Yeah, all the talent was in the Negro League, but I'm saying I'm sure at that particular time it was delusion for that to happen, right? It was delusion. It was delusion that this guy named Bob Johnson was building a company and he wanted the company to be recognized as a major network with talent, with Video Soul and Donnie Simpson and Caribbean Fusion, and you know what I mean? That's BT. That was delusion that BT would get recognized like that, right? Because remember, hip hop and that all that stuff was supposed to be a fad. It never was supposed to stay there. Now you got people approaching billionaire status. That was delusion, right? It was delusion for Master P to come out the projects, come out the hood, to be slinging his tapes, and he ain't the best rapper, right? To build that company, to have 10, 20, 30 acts out one time, then do it one better, have his kid on a major network, right? Still going. That was delusion. That's delusion, because look where you're from. Where's your inheritance? You're not a Rothschild, a DuPont, a Vanderbilt, you know? That's delusion to think that you can be something else. But what I realize is nobody kills your delusion and your innocence like your culture that you come from. This culture right here got to put you back in your place. Don't you go thinking you better than what you are. What's wrong with that though? Y'all, the dudes are really building channels to try to put women in their place. For what though? AdSense? They better than me, because I wouldn't call you niggas. Let me be delusional. If I think that I can go outside and that just be my day, and I come up on something and I knock something, you try your hand. But you mean to tell me that human beings could put a submarine in the earth, in the water? We can drill to the deepest depths of the earth, right? We can create we could create um, uh, sea devices to go to the Mariana Trench. We could do all that stuff. But you telling me a person can't get a particular mate? Like, yo, let me tell you something. To get vagina and peen is easy. Like, that's not hard for humans to get. That is just regular, right? And you're saying that nobody in the world will be attracted to this individual. Maybe, maybe not. But it's all about delusion, though. It's all about delusion, right? I'm sure Beyonce was delusional when she was in Destiny's Child and she seen herself somewhere. That's imagination, y'all. That's how it works. That's imagination. Because we have an ability that other animals in nature don't have. We can think about things and see ourselves and project ourselves places. Remember, the brain doesn't know if it's real or fake. I'm very delusional. I believe I can make $100 million. Let's say I don't. And let's say I fail and I wind up only making 15. Let's say you have a delusion in your mind and you want to visit every country in the world, and you almost do it except for two. Are you a failure? No, man. Because you have to be crazy to want more, and you have to be or you have to have audacity to think past your social condition. You have to have audacity to think past what you are right now. You have to have that audacity. But you have to understand though that this culture right here, when you look like this, they will take your dream and crumple it up, because you got to understand this culture is a bottomless pit. This is where all the trash comes, right? It's a black hole for garbage. It's a black hole for everything negative. It's a black hole for no standards, right? It's a black hole for loss. It's a black hole for depression. It's a black hole for no nationality. It's a black hole for debt. So what do you think they're going to do with your dream? Y'all with me? Because I want to encourage people to be delusional. As long as it's something big. As long as it's something big. And as long as you can handle the consequences of your delusion. This is how it works, right? Because if you got a for sure right there, right here in your left hand, but your delusion says, you know what? Even though I got a for sure, I believe I could go get more. And you put the for sure down with the belief that you could go get more. You might be right and you might be wrong. And that's the beauty of it, though. That's the beauty of dreaming big. Don't get it twisted. Everybody with a big dream didn't succeed. But let me tell you something. When you aging out and you're an old man or you're an old woman on your deathbed, I'm telling you, you're never gonna forgive yourself if you don't try. You're never gonna forgive yourself, even if you fail. Look, the story is fire, though. It's all about the story. The story is fire, right? So even if you fail, even if we fail, we've come up short. It's all about the story. Because guess what? Maybe it was designed for you. It's in your cards for you to fail. But in your failure, somebody's watching. You know what I mean? In your failure, your failure is the reason that the next person succeeds, because it's all about the story, right? Let's take a break, man, and we're going to keep on cooking. When we come back, I'm going to play a fire video that's going to definitely drive my point home. Sit tight. We're about to do the Lord's work. The worst time in my life was when my mama was laid up in the hospital dying. I just watched her decay. It was crazy. And I was looking out the window and I seen planes in the sky. People was traveling. It was cars on the highway. People was traveling. People was on their phone, just doing human things, The worst period of my life, the world was moving. It didn't stop for your boy at all. She ended up dying and I was sitting right next to her. I seen the life leave my mama. The life leave my mama. I can't unsee that. Man, I ain't got no fear. What could you do to me? You think I care what you think? If I could see that, you think I care what you think? That's why I ain't got no problem telling you to pay like you weigh. Sock it to my pocket. I'm charging for my pain. You ain't gonna sit up here and take my game from my pain and run off and break bread with somebody else. Nah, you break bread with me. Respect the game. I ain't got no fear, so I don't care what you think. It's time for that 20 piece. This that $20 call to action, man. Pay like you weigh. I'm mashing for my rations, always. Hey, before I play this video, right? So I heard some YouTubers, right? They was arguing. And it was like, yeah, man, I be going live. I don't even monetize. I don't even ask people to like my page. I don't ask at people for money. And it's so interesting that people brag to me. That's funny to me. People brag as like that's a thing of I ain't even asking nobody for no money, right? That right there is like a kind of a I don't know what that means because I'm a campaigner and I'm always mashed for my ration. And I feel like if you got a talent and you got a story and you share that story, you're dumb if you don't expect compensation. The difference with me is I'm aggressive with mines and I'm gonna be like, hey, yeah, what's happening? I know I got fired. What's good with that dub? Right? So if the worst thing a person say about me is, man, they be trying to ask me for money, I've been called worse. I'm gonna die on that hill. Right? So if the thing that you say about Ken Billions is, man, he be asking people for money, yo, listen, I'm gonna die on that hill right there. All right. So let's get into it. So this is about this video that I'm about to play. I'm gonna play a video about it's about like hacking the gene, right? So it goes back right along with our topic about dreaming bigger, and about changing the language, but yeah, let me stop talking. Dr. Joe. So we're gonna ride out for Dr. Joe, right? Let's do it.
Stuff today first, lay the foundation. Nothing with you is basic, but what is the power of thought? Because we talk about this all the time. This in personal development today, everyone's talking about, you got to control your thoughts and control your habits and all these things. And there's a baseline message about that. But you're the best in the world explaining exactly why this is so important. So give us some background there.
Yeah, I think, everything starts with a thought. I mean, everything that you do in your life, you have to have a thought before you initiate an action, right? So if you believe that your thoughts have something to do with your destiny, like any great leader in history understands that, the first thing you have to do is you have to decide, are you going to be defined by a vision of the future, or are you going to live by the memories of the past? So I'll give you an example. Most people wake up in the morning and your brain is a record of the past. It's an artifact of everything you've learned and experienced to this moment, right? It's a memory bank. So most people wake up in the morning and they start thinking about their problems, and those problems are connected to certain people and things at certain times and places. And the moment they start turning on those circuits, those memories are actually causing them to think in the past. Every single one of those memories has an emotion associated with them, and emotions are the end product of past experiences. So then the moment they recall the event, or they recall some problem in their life, they start feeling unhappy, they start feeling discouraged, they start feeling anxious. Now, thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body, and how you think and how you feel creates your state of being. So we could say then, most people's entire state of being when they start their day is in the familiar past. Well, if you live in the familiar past, then it makes sense you're going to create the predictable future. And so what happens for most people is they get stuck in their biology. So think about this. Your body is your unconscious mind. It doesn't know the difference between an experience in your life that creates an emotion and an emotion that you can create by thought alone. So if you're living by the same emotion every single day, and those emotions are influencing your thoughts, and you can't think greater than how you feel, or feelings have become the means of thinking, you're thinking in the past. Your lens of the future is going to be colored by the past, so you can't see possibilities. So most people like to wait for a crisis or disease or diagnosis before they wake up enough to see. Well, the challenge is that biology tends to be redundant. So if you keep thinking the same thoughts, and those thoughts begin to fire certain circuits in your brain, the nerve cells that fire together wire together. So all of a sudden you start getting hardwired. And those are the thoughts that you can think the easiest. At the same time, those thoughts produce chemicals called emotions. And the next thing you know, your body gets accustomed to living by the same emotions. And it could be guilt. It could be unhappiness. It could be pain. But at least it's familiar to you. At least you can predict it. So some people would rather cling to the familiar than take a chance and possibility.
Oppression, 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 white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy, slavery, slavery, slavery. I want to introduce an idea to y'all to think about this for a second. Is it possible that the culture collectively uses certain kind of words to get some type of chemical response in the body? Because why does everybody talk like that? Think about that for a second. Listen to how he's talking in his tone and just the ideals that he's going over. And I know some of this is familiar to some people and then some is not. But this is not a barbershop conversation. Why not? How come the individual that's going to talk like this looks like him? And we're in the information age. Remember, them words are the triggers, right? So we say these words to get this chemical response, right? Now, imagine if we use different words to get a chemical response that was associated with the big dream.
So for most people, then they say, well, I don't really see how my thoughts have anything to do with my destiny. Well, that's because 95% of those thoughts are subconscious programs, right? So you're not even conscious that you think those thoughts. So the first step to change is starting to think about what you've been thinking about and change it. And then when you begin to observe those thoughts, you're no longer the program, you're the consciousness observing
Just
the program.
simply by being an observer of your thoughts.
Right. So most people, though, when you do that, when you decide to really take a look, it's like lighting a match in a dark place. So you feel uncomfortable. So it's easier to turn on your TV. It's easier to play with your cell phone, to distract yourself from those feelings. Well, when you understand that change really requires becoming uncomfortable to a certain degree, and that's normal, that you're leaving the known and you're stepping into the unknown, then it begs the question, what thoughts do you want to fire and wire in your brain? Because your attention on those thoughts begins to reorganize circuitry, remold the brain.
So I love this, by the way. How do you flip that to your advantage? So meditation is really means to become familiar with, correct? So we're going to talk a little bit about meditation as we go forward here in a second. But if it is true that your body is your unconscious mind, which I didn't know that, and it is true that it does not know the difference between a real event or an imagined event, can't you really use that to your advantage, though?
The body, the body is the unconscious mind, right? Pete, though, because I feel like all niggas is under my control. I don't care what nobody say, right? So you can't the brain you can't differentiate the body can't differentiate a real experience from a false experience, right? Step back for a sec and pay attention to people in the culture. They think they're going through slavery right now. Look at how they talk. Look at how they talk about America. They act like nothing has changed. They act like there's no opportunity. They act like as though a force is over them every single day, just having control over their life, from what they eat to how they mate, everything. They believe they're in slavery right now. They don't even know it's 2021.
Of course, because so let's talk about that, because this is because you do this really well. Because most people are waiting for their life to change, so they can feel gratitude, to feel abundance, to feel whole. That's the old model of cause and effect. So if you're living with emptiness, you're living with lack, you're living with pain. Most people have been conditioned that something out there has to take away this emptiness or feeling inside of them. But if you believe that you're creating your life and you're living by lack, well, lack isn't going to create abundance, right? So then it makes sense then that you don't really actually create wealth. You generate wealth. You generate abundance. So the moment you start teaching your body emotionally what that future is going to feel like before it's made manifest, well, your body, as the unconscious mind, believes it's living in that future in the present moment. Now, it's a scientific fact that it's the environment that signals the gene, okay? The end product from an experience in the environment is an emotion. So when you begin to embrace an elevated emotion, you're beginning to signal the gene ahead of the environment. What's the importance of that? Well, genes make proteins, and proteins are responsible for the structure and the function of your body. And the expression of proteins is the expression of life. So by you creating an elevated emotion and teaching your body what that future will feel like before it's made manifest, your body's starting to live in that future reality in the present moment. Now, here's the key. If you were able to become familiar with gratitude, become familiar with wholeness, become familiar with abundance, become familiar with freedom, and you're able to generate those chemicals every single day, more than likely you would be walking around feeling like your future has already happened, and you would no longer be looking for it to happen.
I just got to pause it right there because it was a whew. Bars. Okay. That was heavy. So basically, you can be preparing yourself for the millions right now, y'all. You could be preparing yourself for this big thing that hasn't happened yet. That's what he was just saying. Conditioning your body and your mind as if it already happened. So when you get there, you're not surprised or anything because you already started living the life already. You already started living the life already. When I was in church, when I was a kid, they used to tell me you don't got to be of the world. You know what I'm saying? Don't be in the world or whatever. And what I'm saying right now, y'all, you have to remove yourself from the culture, because the culture is trying to prepare you for a reality of failure. They're talking to you as if there is no future. They're talking to you as if though you have no hope. They're talking to you as if no one's going to love you in the future, and they're preparing you right now. So this is how many of us are waking up with a doom and gloom philosophy, because there's nothing to look forward to. Listen to how people talk. It's not words of affirmation. It's not optimistic. It got us in a suspended reality of failure. Man, let's go.
You would already feel like it has happened. Now, what is the importance of that? Well, you're literally becoming somebody else. Yes. So you're leaving your lack, you're leaving your guilt, you're leaving your empty behind.
Oh my gosh, that's good. So you talk about, I want to stand here for a minute, because I know people right now are going, oh my gosh. And I'm doing that right now too. So now we get into stuff that just benefits me. One of my favorite things you say is that, and it's a general thing, but I want to move into how you become this. So you say often that in order to change your personal reality, you must change your personality. But I think also that people maybe aren't aware of how that personality was formed. And we started to go down that road, but I want to keep going for a minute.
Sure.
And so you talk often about how a mood over time can end up turning into a personality of sorts. So could you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Let's talk about it in two ways. Okay. So your personality, literally, Ed, is made up of how you think, how you act, and how you feel. And how you think, how you act, and how you feel is your personality. And your personality is intimately connected to your personal reality, your life. So then if you want to change your life, your personal reality, you got to change your personality. And here we go again. You got to start becoming conscious of your unconscious thoughts. You got to start noticing how you act, how you speak. You got to pay attention to how you're feeling. Some people would live in guilt their whole entire life and don't even know it's guilt, because at least it feels like them. So then when you start doing that, you begin to objectify your subjective self. So then when you begin to make small changes, back to thought, a new thought should lead to a new choice. A new choice should lead to a new behavior. A new behavior should create a new experience, and a new experience should create a new emotion.
Yes.
And that new emotion is teaching your body chemically to understand what your mind has intellectually understood. Now your body is embodying the truth, right? So then the new emotion should inspire new thoughts, and that's called evolution. So how do we get stuck? It's really simple. The stronger the emotion you feel from some event in your life, be it a betrayal or a trauma or whatever, the more altered you feel inside of you, the more you pay attention to the cause outside of you. So the brain takes a snapshot. It freezes an image and embosses that pattern neurologically in the brain. That's called a memory. So we create long-term memories from strong emotional events, okay?
So is that true? I just want to understand. Maybe the larger the event in terms of its emotion to you, the stronger of a hold it has over you?
Yeah, well, the more it's embossed in your biology. So some certain people have a strong experience in their life, and it catches all of the brain's attention. So now they think neurologically within the circuits of the past experience, and they feel chemically within the boundaries of those emotions. And so how you think and how you feel creates a state of being. Now, here's the problem. That if you don't know how to mediate or control your emotional reaction to that event, and you keep that refractory period of chemicals going on for extended periods of time, so that the event produces a chemical change, and the body needs to return back to homeostasis or balance. But if it can't, then the elongation of that emotional reaction for weeks, say, for days or weeks, is called a mood. So you say, Ed, what's wrong with you? I'm in a mood. Why are you in a mood? Well, this thing happened to me 5 days ago, and I'm having one long emotional reaction. So then what you do is you keep telling the story about it, keep firing and wiring the same circuits, and you keep conditioning the body into the past. So then you wake up in the morning, you look for the emotion. So then now, all of a sudden, you keep it lingering for weeks or months. That's called the temperament. Well, why is he so angry? I don't know. Let's ask him. Why are you so angry? Well, this thing happened to me 8 months ago. I'm having one long emotional reaction. I'm memorizing my emotions. You keep it going on for years on end. It's called a personality trait. So then a person then is memorizing themselves by living in the past. And so then you say to them, well, tell me the story. Now, the latest research on memory says that 50% of what we talk about in our past isn't even the truth. So
that's why we have to stop it, man. Ooh. 50% of what we talk about in the past is not even true. That's not how the story went. I hope you realize when you think about the dream and when you think about the vision board, I hope you realize how you may have got off of it because of the program, right? So now you can see the social justice, the paradigm that they got the mind stuck in. You see how it happens, yo. This is mind control 101. Seriously. I had to stop it right there, like, all right, let's do it.
we make stuff up about the past. In other words, people are reliving a life that they didn't even have just to reaffirm that they can't change, right? So then what's the significance?
Oh, I had to stop it again. I'm sorry. Niggas want to be slaves so bad. It's not funny, but it's funny. Let me tell you something. I'm talking about people just remove all happy moments. People get rid of every positive experience they have right now for an experience from 1785 that they have to have that experience. They have to have that narrative of, yeah, because we do this from slavery. Oh yeah, and that comes from slavery. And that's from slavery. No, dog, baby girl. That comes from you just want to be a piece of shit. It has nothing to do with slavery. That's because of you. Let's go.
Significance of this, where you place your attention is where you place your energy. Period.
Yes.
So then the stronger the emotion that you have to some problem or condition or person in your life, the more you're paying attention to them. So they captured your attention. So you're giving your power away to that person, right? Because they're capturing your attention.
Wow.
So then there's an energetic connection to every person, everything in your past, present reality has your energy connected to it. So now, this is the significance. When a person really decides to be defined by a vision of the future instead of the memory of the past, the hardest part about it is all of a sudden becoming conscious and not making the same unconscious choice. So then if you lower the volume to your frustration, to your hatred, to your anger, if you truly knew how to do that, if you lowered the volume to that emotion, you would take your attention off that person, which means you would begin to break those energetic bonds, and now you're taking your power back.
Yes.
You're calling energy back to you, and we've measured this. And all of a sudden, it builds this bigger electromagnetic field around the person's body. That's energy to heal. That's energy to create a new future with, right? And then if you didn't want to lower the volume to the emotion, then just take your attention off the person. And every time you take your attention off the person, if you became conscious of that, you wouldn't feel the emotion. Now, the body, though, has been addicted to that emotion because you're using that person to reaffirm your addiction to hatred or frustration. And if that person died, you find another one. So then here you go now. So now you're in a position now where you begin to lower the volume to that emotion, and the body's going, wait a second, you've been doing this for the last 20 years, and all of a sudden you're just going to stop hating? And the body says, well, I've been conditioned this way, and conditioning is based on the past. So when the body feels the lack of that emotion, just like a drug addict, it says, hey, you're off schedule here. So now the body starts influencing the mind to think about experiences that are embossed in the brain that are based on that emotion. So the emotion now is causing you to think in the past. If we teach a person then how to trade that frustration or that hatred for an elevated emotion, and they'll say, yeah, but it was my ex's fault, or I got betrayed by my partner in business. Yeah, we know that. Okay, so let's take your partner in business or take your ex. Let's duct tape them, put them in a cannon and shoot them to the moon. Now what are you going to do? Sooner or later, you got to reckon with yourself and change, right? So then teach a person then how to trade that emotion for an elevated emotion. Now,
Trade the emotion for an elevated emotion.
Right. So you're going to give that up and you're going to practice feeling gratitude, as an example.
Yes.
The person says, well, I can't feel gratitude. And I say, absolutely you can, because you don't practice feeling it. You practice spending most of your time feeling hatred and frustration. So now it's going to take a little time to cause that heart of you to bloom, or your heart of yours to bloom. Once they're able to feel even the smallest measure of gratitude, where they start feeling appreciation, thankfulness, gratitude, it's emotional signature. When you get something, when you're receiving something, when something has happened to you, or when something is happening to you, you say thank you because you're receiving something. So the emotional signature of gratitude means the event has already happened, or it's happening to you. So the moment you open your heart and you feel gratitude, well, that emotion then is telling the body that the experience has already occurred. And the thought then can make it into the body because it's consistent with the thought. So now you're beginning to program the autonomic nervous system into a very specific destiny. And you got to maintain that modified state of mind and body your entire day, independent of the conditions in your outer environment, independent of your body's cravings of those emotions and habituations, and independent from time. And if you can, get ready, because something weird or unusual, some synchronicity, some coincidence, some opportunity is going to land in your lap, and you didn't have to go and get it. Yes, it came to you. Now you're the vortex of creation. So if you say to me, well, I was feeling gratitude, but then there was traffic, or my coworker sent me a nasty email, then I would say, oh my God, you mean you're allowing your environment, your outer environment, to control how you feel and think? You're back to the unconscious program that you're the victim to your life.
You got it.
But when you start producing those outcomes in your life, you're going to pay attention to what you did inside of you, and you're going to believe more that you're the creator of your life and less of the victim of your life.
That is so unbelievable. The way that I've never heard anybody ever say it like that before, because I've watched people who's, this person's caused this insecurity in their life. And even when they remove the person, what they'll do is, okay, now I'm going to feel gratitude, what you just said. But their body is still addicted to that emotion, and they go seek other references to get them that emotion again. So the first thing you said that I love, that I've not heard before, is acknowledge when that addiction rears its head again, just by acknowledging it. The second thing that really nobody talks about is, it's wonderful to meditate and to get into that space, but then you must get up and be active towards that goal. That's what most people don't ever talk about.
We're changing our brain and body to live in that future present reality so that you feel connected to a future instead of the past. And when you're connected to the past, you're looking for it. And if you're looking for it, you're separate from it. If you're being it, then there's a complete change in energy, and nobody changes until they change their energy. And when you change your energy, you change your life.
I'm gonna stop it right there. I'm gonna put the link in the chat for anybody that wants to just check this video out on their own time. Put the link in the chat for you. I love Dr. Joe. You know what I mean? He's got great energy. And I wanted to play that video because we're talking about the dreams, right? I wanted to play that video because we're talking about the dream and what if your dream is not big enough? And I talked about language. He talked about basically body chemistry, and I definitely can't repeat half the things he was talking about. But now you see how easy it is to be away from your dream. You see how far you are off. You know what I'm saying? And it's deep. It's on a cellular level. And what I'm saying is you're going to have to put the culture down to get you back. And that's what they don't tell you. And they make it seem, they trick you into thinking that this is just this collective. It's not, yo. It really isn't. It really isn't. This is the hero and the hero's journey. This is personal accountability. This is being the change that you want to see. This is conquering fear. This is mastering procrastination. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. And we're going to continue. You know what I mean? Because when I come back after this break, what I want to talk about is the mystery or the history, and then we'll finish up. I done made money, lost it, and made it back again. I done took major losses in the game. You get the benefit from my losses. I sat with some of the realest people that ever walked this planet. You get the benefit from that. See, when I'm talking, man, I'm not one of these niggas, man, that didn't get it out the mud. I'm not freestyling. I'm not speculating. This is raw and authentic. This is the game that you apply ASAP and it change your life, and people see a difference in you. People say, wow, look at her. Wow, look at him. Man, whatever they doing, man, it must be working, cause damn, they look better. Damn, they sound better. They moving better. Well, that ain't free. You gotta pay for it just like I had to pay for it. Put the money on the wood. Respect the game. Respect my time. Yeah, if you haven't liked the video, go ahead and do that so we can defeat the algorithm. If you haven't shared the video, go ahead and do that. I don't think we cussed that much tonight, y'all, huh? We was good. And if you haven't went over there and hit that Cash App, go over and hit that Cash App with a 10-piece. You're going to pay somebody, so you might as well pay me. I want to talk about the mystery and the history before I leave you. And I want to trigger you to think for a second. You know, many of you hear me talk and understand that I got major respect for the so-called ancestors, or whatever that means, and people from the past, right? I marvel at them people, what they're willing to do, what they were able to do with less. You know, I think about them. I look at their behavior and I look at their strength, and I admire them. But they're not better than me, though. The ancestors are not better than me. Do you know why? Because I'm alive right now. A living dog is better than a dead lion. History is fixed. It can't change. That's it. People can lie about it, debate about it, but it's fixed. It's fixed. But the mystery has potential. It has possibility. It's new. It's fresh. It's curious. It's unwritten. The mystery represents opportunity. The mystery represents us right now. Our tomorrow is a mystery, right? What we can become, we ain't done yet. So though I honor the people from the past, but that's where it stays though. They're not. Marcus Garvey's not more popping than me because I'm in the mystery. His time is up. My tomorrow is not written. It's not fixed. Your tomorrow is not written. It's not fixed. And a lot of the energy that you need for the big dream you don't have is because you have elevated dead people past you. You give them a worship and a praise that you have not even given yourself. No one knows what your tomorrow looks like. I can look at their yesterdays, chapter by chapter. I can see where they went wrong. I can see where I can learn from. No judgment, but their time is gone. And just like you're not going to be more popping than the people of tomorrow, but you here right now. And you elevating the past at the expense of your future is killing the big dream. What if your dream ain't big enough? I just played you a guy that sounded like a kid in a candy store because he was able to fly to space. That's a dream, y'all. And our dreams stop at having children and getting married, getting rims on a car. That's as far as our dream goes. before you go to bed tonight and you look at your vision board and you look at your journal, just go over it. 10x it. Whatever you was thinking about, go past it. Go to the point where you feel insecure because you don't know how you're going to accomplish it. Go past it and feel insecure because you don't know how you're going to pull it off, right? 10x the dream. If your goal was to make 100,000, 10x that. Now it's 1 million. If it was 1 million before, 10x that. Now it's 10. If it was to travel to 10 countries, 10x that. 10x everything that was in your vision board. And even if you fail, guess what? You'll just land on the original dream you had from the get-go. What do you got to lose? CoinGang Ministries. You got to put something down to pick something up. And remember, some superheroes have capes. Others have waves. Till the next time.
Biggest game, it's like, remember we was all back in high school? Some of you may be still in high school or whatever, but follow me. We had the regular class and then you had honors class. And I feel like Ken Billion's game is nothing but honors class. Everything that you learned in life and been through in life, or whatever he's talking about at that certain time, and, point of reference, game for guys. Everybody learn game from somebody and this and that, and it's all over the place. But once I listened to Game for Guys, it was like being in an honors class. Ken is a brilliant guy. I still listen to him to this day. Listen to him almost every other day, and I stay studying. And if I look at his video and he's giving us homework, I'm gonna look through that video. I'm gonna write my notes down. I'm gonna do my homework. Then I'm gonna watch the next video. I mean, you just can't get enough of the game and the knowledge that this brother brings to you. He's allowed me to look back into history, my own history. I found out about black people that I never even knew about, black millionaires and people like that. Recently, I learned about the reticular activating system, and that's something that I'm studying up on as we speak. Which I plan on reprogramming myself. You know what I'm saying? So overall, the Ken Billion's game has done a lot for me. It's allowed me to elevate as a man, as a father. It just allowed me to be more excited about life and not be in the program of being oppressed. And that's one of the main things for me that I have to say that this game has done for me. I'm so glad that I ran across it.